Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. Today it is a 1 vs 1 on Echo Isles. It is a Warcraft 3 ArenaNet top replay. It is also a Moo Cup game. Up top, we have our yellow Night Elf player, Sonik. On the left side of the map, we have our red Orc player, Xelsing. I'm going to go ahead and speed it on up to the 8x mark, to the 2-minute point of the game, and all the heroes come out. All the good stuff starts to happen. And we have a Blade Master on the way for Xelsing. And Demon Hunter on the way for our Night Elf player, Sonik. And looks like we set up the Ancient of War down yonder at the Renegade Wizard camp. And a peon is spying the whole thing, so Xelsing knew exactly what Sonik was going to do. So we'll see if he can get there in time to disrupt some of this creeping or not. It doesn't really look like that's going to be the case. Peon is there, trying to get the kill on the wizard there, but couldn't quite get it. Of course, with that 7 to 8 damage, pretty low chance of that happening, but would be pretty devastating to the Demon Hunter. Actually lose that experience, so why not give it a try? A Blade Master already taking quite a bit of damage and already very low on mana from that Demon Hunter, so not off to a particularly good start. Demon Hunter nearly level 2. Blade Master, of course, a sliver of experience towards level 2 himself. The last of the mana has been stripped from the Blade Master, so now running for his life, basically. 155, 58 health left on that Blade Master, now running away.
Are under attack.
No mana to Windwalk away, and none of that sort of deal. Gonna actually turn back and attack the Demon Hunter with the help of the Grunt, but looks like that wasn't enough damage. And so he had to run away. Now at the Goblin Merchant, gonna sell that Scroll of Town Portal. Pretty usual for a Blade Master start. Gets the Circlet of Nobility. Demon Hunter trapped a little bit here. Gonna come down to the wire. Who is gonna have to TP out of here? And doesn't look like anybody. Well, maybe the Demon Hunter. No, he might get around the other side. And this is getting kind of crazy here. Blade Master down to 6 health, 7 health. Loses the Blade Master. And an observer already calls GG. I think that is pretty early to call that GG. But that was not a good move on Xelsing. Xelsing has been around for quite a while. I actually don't know a lot about him, but I know that he has been casted for a long time. I have seen him, other casters, years ago casting him. I think Xelsing is a StarCraft player. Not entirely sure, but I just know that he is a pretty good player. I've seen him many, many times. I think this is the first time I've actually casted him, so that's always a good thing. Ancient of War going after the Murloc camp now. And just has to make sure that that Ancient of War doesn't hit that last hit on any of these units, because any defensive structure, such as towers or Night Elf buildings like that, will actually not grant experience to the Demon Hunter. If it gets a kill. You can see he's actually getting proxy experience from that Murloc camp all the way on the other side of the map. That only works when you have one hero. If you have 2 heroes, it doesn't quite work that way. Potion of Greater Mana now on the Demon Hunter. A very excellent item to have. Always good. Probably always good. I guess I can't really say always. Demon Hunter now running for the hills. 33 health left. Gonna make it to those Moonwells, though, and makes it to the Moonwells now. Not going to be able to get that kill. However, did use quite a bit of that moon juice in order to do that, so that will set him back just a little bit. Second hero out for Sonik, the Beastmaster. He'll be sporting them Quilbies and on the way to Xelsing's base now. Xelsing trying to get a couple of these wisp kills here. No creeping for this Blade Master. And always a sad day for the Blade Master when he cannot get those levels. You really need those levels for any hero, but Blade Master, I would say in particular, another hero that you really need those levels for would be the Archmage.
A player's forces are under attack.
And Beastmaster, take down the bro. No, not looking like it. I guess I'm following on my own words here. Tauren Chieftain now out for Xelsing. And Blade Master will have to bail for now. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain going to be chasing after him, but gives up the chase. Picks Endurance Aura first for that speed boost for that Orc army. And Blade Master just not doing too good. Definitely could use some creeping on that Blade Master. At least just run off and creep some low-level camps. Get that level 2. And get that crit. The Blade Master is entirely reliant on the crit, in my opinion. Without crit, Blade Master really not that great of a hero. It's the crit that really makes him pretty astonishingly good. Of course, Windwalk is also a great skill as well, but it's that crit that really just brings a surprise to people. You can have quite a bit of health and think that you're going to kill the Blade Master, but then he just gets a lucky crit on you, does 250 plus damage, and then you lose a unit. And never good. Sonik loses his Berserker there, and I think that Blade Master got the kill. I'm not sure if he actually tried to kill his own Berserker there to stop that or not. Blade Master finishes off the Troll Priest. And now the Tauren Chieftain left by himself with a couple grunts. But that's always good. A couple grunts is always good to have around. They make good friends. If I had 2 grunts on my side, I could get a lot of things done. You know, you go to the gas station, you fill up, and they're like, okay, it's 27 bucks. You'd be like, well, my 2 grunts, they don't think it's 27 bucks. They think it should be free. And so, you know, you can get a lot of things done. Just use your imagination. And apparently I'm getting texts. You know, I'm so bad. Just so bad. Never turning off my phone before I start casting. I just get so excited when I can cast. I'm like, oh, I want to cast, and I want to cast it right now. So I don't turn off my phone. No Brute Camp. Gotta go down here for Xelsing, and honestly, it's about time. It looks like both of these heroes are going to get, no, Blade Master already level 2, but the Tauren Chieftain may get level 2 from that if the Blade Master actually runs away.
A player's forces are under attack.
Only needs a little bit more, and no, does not get that level 2 because the Blade Master was soaking up that experience. That is a mistake, in my opinion. And now Tinker out with the 3rd hero for Sonik. Ring of Selling for the Tinker. And Demon Hunter now at the Goblin Merchant. Picks up a Scroll of Healing and Ring of Regeneration. Or rather, no, he didn't pick up the Ring of Regeneration from the Goblin Camp. Oh my, it's been a while. It's been a while, guys. And the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability and the Scroll of Healing is what he picked up from the Goblin Merchant. And Scroll of Healing, easily one of the best units or items in the game, along with, of course, Potions of Invulnerability. Scrolls of Healing can really turn the tide of a battle, especially if you have one on like every hero. If you have 3 heroes like this and you have one on every hero, it's actually a pretty tremendous amount of healing and saves your units from dying. And for anybody that is slightly new to Warcraft 3, one thing you cannot do in Warcraft 3 is let your units die. You cannot let your units die in Warcraft 3. That is like probably the best advice ever for Warcraft 3. Letting your units die allows your opponent's heroes to level up, and when your opponent's heroes level up and yours do not, you pretty much lose the game in terms of equal skill match. And so that is the main goal of Warcraft 3, other than to simply win, is to not lose units. Every unit you lose, you cannot take it back. Essentially, the enemy heroes get experience, and you can never take that back. So every unit lost is a mistake, essentially. And that's what makes it one of the most heavy micro games I've ever seen. It is much more micro-intensive than StarCraft. As if you lose a unit in StarCraft, it's no real entirely big loss most of the time. And Sonik really tearing up the creep camps on the map. Now level 3, 2, and 2 already. And I'm actually surprised that this Tinker is level 2 already, as it is the 3rd hero out. And now Tauren Chieftain will finish off the Wizard Camp. The Great Hall is canceled. And tons of Druids of Talon out. It's one of the ultimate counters to Orc. Particularly the Blade Master Orc. As most people go Blade Master, but from time to time, I suppose people may not go Blade Master. And the reason is the Fairy Fire will illuminate units all across the map. You cannot Windwalk in while Fairy Fire. You can, but you're visible the whole time. And also, the main thing is actually Cyclone. So what you do is you just cyclone the heroes over and over and over during a battle. And that way they're pretty much eliminated from the battle without actually being dead. Because if you can't attack, then you might as well be dead. And so the Druids of the Talon, very, very effective against Orc. Also, of course, lowering armor is always a good thing as well with the Fairy Fire. But it's mostly to counter the Blade Master, as you can just cyclone him over and over and over. Pretty much just eliminates him from the battle. Eliminates those crit chances, which is the biggest thing too. That way he's not attacking, he's not getting those crit chances, not losing units. You can see the Druid of the Town only has 380 health. So a Druid Blade Master with a pretty optimal crit can do 250 plus damage. So almost one-shots a Druid of the Town. And now the battle is on. Pocket Factory's out. And just 2 heroes for the Orc, 3 for Sonik. However, it looks like Xelsing's hero's slightly higher level, as he has 2 3s and Sonik only has 1 level 3. So we'll see how this goes. Cyclones all over these Raider units and eliminating them from the battle temporarily, as I said before. And Tinker nearly level 3. 1 more death and that Tinker will be level 3. And Demon Hunter nearly level 4, and pops that in Potion of Invulnerability. Tinker dies before he hits that level 3. Very good for Xelsing there. Not so good for Sonik. Now the Beastmaster is the focus of the attacks. Playmaster running around all wacky-like, doing crits. Demon Hunter chasing down a Spirit Walker here. Spirit Walker juking around pretty well. And this is, as you can see, this is exactly why Warcraft 3 is one of the most intensive micro RTSs I've ever seen and ever played. As you can see, he was using his heroes there, keeping all of his units alive, running that Spirit Walker back and forth, trying to keep it away from the Demon Hunter, and all at the same time. So it's much easier said than done. I am definitely not on the level of these players. Never claimed that I have. But I've certainly played this game for years and years. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I have probably put thousands of hours into this game over the course of my life. Good old Footman Frenzy and Grunts versus Footmen and Line Tower Wars. Line Tower Wars is probably my favorite one. That and Footman Frenzy. Certain versions of Footman Frenzy, that is. I think 5.4 I really liked. I think I really liked 5.6. That was a slightly different version. It's been a long time. I really like the version of Footman Frenzy where they had these skeletons that would spawn 2 at a time that you could upgrade. That was a really good version. Demon Hunter now, I'm moving along, has 2 scrolls of healing. However, you usually want to split up those scrolls of healing to your other heroes. So he'll likely actually give this scroll of healing to a Beastmaster or the Tinker, and that way there's no second cooldown for using it once or twice on the same hero. So he actually splits it up to the second hero there, and that way there's no cooldown. So he can use this one and then use this one right away if he had to. Otherwise, if you just have 2 on the same hero, there's a big cooldown to use it a second time on that same hero. And now the level 3 Blade Master, level 4 Tauren Chieftain. Some intelligence picked up there on the Tauren Chieftain. A little bit more mana. A little bit more regeneration. And can someone explain the claws on the Beastmaster? Yeah, that's interesting, but who knows? Would usually be best, of course, on the Demon Hunter. Attacks a little bit faster than the Beastmaster, I believe. I don't see why not. As he does have much more agility, so he does attack slightly faster, so it would actually be a little bit better to have the Claws of Attack on the Demon Hunter. So you'd have a little bit more DPS per second. And Orc bails out of there. Xelsing back at base. And the Great Hall on the way again. Now, long distance mining with those peons until that is done. Now moving over to the Orc base here, level 3, level 2, and level 4. Tinker now will get level 3 with the kill of the Ogre Warrior there. I kind of want to make a video where I just say everything totally wrong and see if anybody picks up on it, and see if anybody like freaks out at me and like thinks that I'm actually serious. Like I kind of want to just call ogres ogres. Like, yeah, and you got level 3 from the Ogre Warrior. And see how many people comment and be like, it's not ogre, it's ogre. Like, yeah, I know. I got you. I was just fucking with you. Whoa, Beast. Taken out there. A little bit of experience for the Blade Master. And another Quill Beast. Blade Master's work is never done. And now Peon's in a bit of trouble here, and so is the Great Hall. Had to cancel the Great Hall again. And Xelsing hits him with a pretty good shockwave there. So one thing about Druids of the Talon is they are an excellent counter to Orc, particularly the Blade Master and Raiders. However, they take tremendous damage from Shockwave. Not that they take any more damage than any other unit, but they have such low health that it does a statistically higher amount of damage, according to their full health, what have you, yada yada. And so it's really easy to simply Shockwave down almost an entire group of units. I think Shockwave does 200 at level 3, if I'm not mistaken. And or maybe 300? Oh my.
Are under attack.
And so Druids of the Talon, suffice it to say, they take tremendous amount of damage from Shockwave. So one good Shockwave just like that could pretty much take them down to about 100 health. And from there on, quite easy to finish off the rest of them. Tree of Life coming up here for Sonik. And that'll be finished. We have a Raider down here that's looking to cause some trouble. But unfortunately,
forces are under
pretty low on health. And not really going to be able to get the job done alone. And Torn Chieftain separated from ye ol' Blade Master ally. Torn Chieftain got a... Oh, nope. I thought he was actually town portaling out of there for a second. He was actually using Staff of Teleportation. And then a Scroll of Town Portal to get him out of there. And I'm not sure... Really, seems like kind of a waste. Lose 3 TPs, yeah, exactly, from those observers. A little bit of a waste there. TPs are extremely expensive. Exactly, 400 gold. Not quite 1,400 gold. I think they're, what, 350 a piece, so more like 1050 gold. Yeah, 350 times 3 equals 1,400, question mark. Good job there, buddy. I think he was thinking more of... God, I don't even know where he got that math from, to be totally honest.
A town is under siege. A player's forces are under attack.
And the Druids of the Talon moving on in, gonna take out this Orc Bro super fast. Didn't respond to that. Could have probably kept that up with repairing and thrown some of those peons in there. Xelsing not playing the best game I've ever seen for sure. Just letting his Orc burrows go down. Another burrow is gonna go down. Not good for Orc. And now he's gonna have to pretty much get all of that back. And again, their math was wrong. One of them said 1150 for 350 times 3. Let's get real here, people. Come on. This isn't like, this isn't algebra here. This isn't calculus. Sometimes I don't like to actually calculate numbers in my cast because I don't want to just sit there and be like, so times 33% is going to take... So I just kind of sometimes vaguely call out numbers, if you will. And Blade Master kind of made a mistake there, ran past some of these Druids of the town. He could have just instantly windwalked this one down and then went, actually just attacked this one right after. Could have got 2 free Druids of the town kills. Why not? Looks like he was trying to get to the Goblin Merchant as fast as he could, but I think he could have taken a couple of seconds there, finished off a couple of basically free Druids of the Talon kills. And now Xelsing's base completely under siege here. Down goes the Voodoo Lounge. However, Sonic's base is in a little bit more trouble as he has Raiders here, and Raiders do good damage to siege or fortified armor. Oh my, it has been a while since I cast. I think a month. And I do actually apologize about that. Some people watch my channel quite frequently, and I've had some really good comments. One person said that he falls asleep to my voice sometimes, which is slightly weird, but I really appreciate that comment because I watch other YouTubers myself, and sometimes, you know, you just kind of listen to them in the background. But I really want to be casting more. I really do. Unfortunately, I live in a, let's say, unintuitive environment at the moment. I will be actually moving in November. So, what, 3 months, 4 months, something like that? I don't know. Again, I don't like to calculate in my cast. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know the date. It's the 28th or something. Anyway, so in November, my lease is up here, so I'll actually be moving. I'll have more bedrooms, so I'll have my own office that I'll actually be able to cast nightly in. Right now, it's just honestly not an intuitive environment to cast daily. So I do apologize about that. So anybody that is subscribed to me, watches these on a daily basis, I really appreciate you staying subscribed. Really do, from the bottom of my heart. But I will be producing more in the future. For now, you'll just have to stick it out with me. Toward Chieftain surrounded, and once again, Druids of the Talon. Cyclone, surround, and it's over. Druids of the Talon, I say this sometimes in my games, and I'm not sure if anybody really agrees with me, but I think there should be diminishing returns on Cyclone. So every time you Cyclone somebody, I think it should last less and less time. Similar to World of Warcraft, like if you polymorph somebody, the next time you polymorph them, it will be a less time and less time and less time till the point where they pretty much get out of it instantly. And I think that's the way that Cyclone should work. So I think that Blizzard should really patch that. You know, if they ever plan on making another patch for Warcraft 3, I really, really believe that Cyclone should have a diminishing return on it. Because right now it is just used to... Honestly, it's really abused. I don't want to say it's overpowered. I don't like to go there. I like to remain neutral, just because of the simple fact that if you remain neutral, I think it's the better bet. Just because, you know, sometimes people are better and worse. Like, you could have an overpowered unit, but not be better than the other player that you're against. And regardless of you having an overpowered unit, you could still lose the game. So it's all about skill in the end, but there are some things that could be tweaked, such as Cyclone. So now just a few Raiders left with the Blade Master, so not looking too good here for Xelsing. 3 whole heroes now, and 1 unit left. One building left here for Sonik. So if he can make it to that, and it looks like that's what he's doing now. He's going right towards it. He sees this Tree of Life. And I think that might be it. And he's wondering how he can see it, but I think that's probably the only bet on the map. And he has won the game. So technically, Sonik was not revealed there. So some of those observers were wondering how Xelsing seen that Tree of Life. And I think he wasn't going... I think it just looked like he was going directly towards it. I think that he assumed that there was probably some building down there. If you play Warcraft 3 long enough, you tend to know what people do. When you do a base race situation like just happened in this replay, and you destroy somebody's base and the game isn't over yet, you know they have hidden a building somewhere or they have an expansion. So honestly, it was the logical choice for Xelsing to go. I would not call map hack on that. Just because it's kind of like a duh situation, like, oh, I wonder where he is. Like, it's got to be like one of basically 4 places to be, unless Sonik hid a Tree of Life in a very unusual place, or maybe was eating trees. I remember a long time ago in Warcraft 3, especially in like 4 versus 4 multiplayer, like when you were losing, once in a great while, I would just have fun, and I would take a Tree of Life, and I would just eat my way into the trees, all the way deep into like some kind of forest. It was really funny to just like let people look for you. You could just go up and get a drink and just let people until you lose the game. I didn't do it often. I'm not a troll, but it was fun. So either way, I don't think Xelsing was hacking there. It's just pretty much the obvious choice. But we'll take a look at the unit score here. I know like a lot of people like to look at this. 5, 4, and 4 versus a 5 and a 4. So superior hero levels, superior heroes over and all for Sonik there, but didn't quite take the cake. And in terms of resources, but I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.